Now, over 100 foreign mercenaries have reportedly been captured by Syrian government troops after regaining control of rebel-held areas in the city of Homs. Sources say the majority of them are French, with the rest from several Arab countries. Syrian authorities claim that life in the city that's been under siege for almost a month is getting back to normal. But as RT's Maria Finashina reports, there are serious fears the fighting is far from over.
2 days after the rebel fighters pulled out from Baba Amr neighborhood in Homs, things remain chaotic on the ground. Fears are growing on revenge attacks by the rebels. The chief of the Free Syrian Army has claimed it withdrew tactically. Shortly after that, the opposition Syrian National Council has warned on massacre, claiming they would provide leadership to disorganized fighters and would give them weapons. Arming the rebels has earlier been considered as a good idea by Qatar and Saudi Arabia. The 22-nation Arab League hasn't ruled out this option either. Humanitarian organizations have appealed to President Bashar al-Assad to agree on a daily 2-hour ceasefire to allow emergency aid to be brought to the areas where fighting still continues. But there are concerns that the foreign supporters of the opposition may use this to bring weapons to the rebels. We are hearing about killings in Homs still happening, but reports are conflicting on who's behind it. The residents we've managed to speak to by phone say gunmen are killing people in the area known as Hamidiyya, where many Christian families live. Opposition activists report about execution-style killings and burning homes by the army, but these reports are very hard to be verified. The International Red Cross and the Syrian Red Crescent have reached the city of Homs, badly damaged following an almost month-long siege, bringing emergency aid, food, water and medical supplies. But they couldn't enter Baba Amr area, the area that's been taken by the rebels for weeks and that's seen fierce clashes between them and the authorities. But they are staying in Homs, providing help to people in the city's other areas, reporting that the situation on the ground remains catastrophic.
Maria Finashina reporting there. Now, residents of Homs and eyewitnesses say horrific scenes of carnage have become a part of everyday life there. RT spoke to a Russian woman who spent over a week in the embattled city, who says the picture painted by the media does not always match the reality.
I spent 9 days in Homs with the Syrian Red Crescent and saw with my own eyes the killing, the bloodshed and the bodies on the streets. But the media often spins the numbers out of thin air. They rush to report scores of victims, while it's simply impossible to tell how many people were killed when a building collapses, and it takes several days to retrieve the bodies. Most of the media also are set on blaming the army for all the violence, but it's not like that. Opposition fighters are no less responsible for killing people and committing atrocities. Many rebels in Homs used German-made rockets to target army sites and kill soldiers. All in all, the humanitarian situation in the city is dire, with no water, no power and little food. And the most terrible thing is that people there are becoming used to these conditions.
Aisling Byrne, who's a project coordinator for the Beirut-based Conflicts Forum, says crimes committed by rebels in Homs must not be underestimated.
I think there's growing recognition that some of the Takfiri, the fundamentalist Islamist groups, who probably make up about 30% of the armed insurgents, that they're guilty of as much sort of brutality and terrible actions as some of the accusations against the Syrian Army. These have been documented in various reports. We need to be careful of some of the mainstream media coverage. In fact, the ICRC and its local, the Syrian Red Crescent, have been distributing humanitarian aid, medical supplies, water for some days in Hama and Homs. And, for example, they did get ambulances through to take the injured journalists out of Homs. There are lots of on-the-ground reports, including from Al Jazeera, who've confirmed that it was actually the Free Syria Army who've stopped ambulances going in to evacuate both injured Syrians, civilians and insurgents, but also the foreign journalists who were there.